I think I'm having second thoughts. Is this you, or maybe you're wondering about your ex? Maybe you're wondering if the breakup was a mistake. I think to some extent, after a breakup, we all have these concerns. We all worry if it was a mistake and if we made the wrong decision, or if our ex made the wrong decision and they're regretting it, because frankly, it's very painful. There are some things that we can look at, though, to consider if what happened was a mistake. So to get a good perspective on this, I think we have to go back to what happened. Why is this breakup happening in the first place? Whether it was your decision or your ex's, we need to know why it's happening. Is it happening because your ex was unhappy, and did they give you reasons for why it was unhappy? Have you thought about those reasons? Have you actually sat down and considered them from your ex's perspective? Were there things like arguments going on in your relationship? Was somebody always giving the silent treatment? Was somebody always defensive? Was somebody always critical and always looking down on the other partner? Was there maybe always cheating going on, or were there accusations of cheating? You know, all these things are not really healthy for a relationship, and if that was part of the reason for the breakup, that's important, and those are good, valid reasons to want to break up. There's also other reasons, like if we are on a career change and it doesn't match up with what our partner wants in life, or if we change the way that we see the world and maybe we have different dreams and different goals, and again, our partner doesn't want to go along with that. Something's not working. Maybe you want to have children, your partner doesn't want to have children. You know, all these things are very important decisions to make for our own lives, and if our partner's not on board with those, I know it hurts, but that could be a reason why breaking up makes sense. If your ex was the one who decided to break up with you and you're wondering if they made the wrong decision, I think we have to acknowledge here that they did make a decision that they wanted to break up, and whether it's the wrong decision or the right decision, there was a decision made. And even if they haven't given you reasons for that decision, there are reasons. They thought about it and they decided for a reason. It didn't just come out of the blue. Very few people will just break up for no reason at all. But I hear you. Maybe your ex is wishy-washy. Maybe they're not really sure. Maybe they've been giving you mixed signals and they've been saying they're not really sure. Maybe they say it's a mistake and you're wondering if it really is a mistake now because of what they're saying. Maybe they message you a lot. Maybe they want to hang out all the time. Maybe they say they want to stay friends, but you're not really sure if that really means friends or if it means more. Well, here's the thing about that. If somebody's wishy-washy about having chosen to break up with you in the first place, then they're going to be wishy-washy even if they get back into a relationship with you. And really, the core problem here, most likely, is that they don't know how to get in tune with what they want, and then they don't know how to communicate that to you. Maybe you can recognize that this was a problem that happened in the relationship, and it was a pattern that kept going on and on and on, and maybe this is part of the reason why you broke up in the first place. Well, I can tell you this much. Every relationship needs good communication, and each person in that relationship needs to know how they feel and be able to communicate it to their partner. So if this is happening after the breakup, if this wishy-washy behavior, if this I'm not really sure kind of mentality is hanging out there, then it's just going to continue if you were to get back together. And I would say that this breakup was not a mistake, because whoever is doing that, if maybe it's both of you, you need to get back in touch with how you feel, and you need to be sure of how you feel and learn how to communicate that to people who you are in intimate relationships with. And this can take some time. Some people have a really, really hard time feeling their emotions. Maybe you're having a hard time right now because it's a breakup and there is intense emotions during a breakup. A lot of people, they want to shove the emotions away. They want to act like they're not happening. They don't like to cry. People just have a hard time with this stuff, and that's okay. We all have a hard time with different things, and maybe this is just one thing that you or your partner has a hard time with. But you can't have a good intimate relationship when you have this problem. And for a lot of people, this is not a problem that's going to be solved overnight, because it's a pattern that you've been doing probably for a long time in your life, and you're going to have to learn a new habit and a new way of relating to yourself and relating to others. That's not easy. But it's worth doing the work, and I would say if you broke up because you realized this was a problem, maybe this is the right time to take a break, work on yourself, and maybe consider the relationship at a later time. So on this topic of feelings, if you're somebody who's not really used to feeling your feelings, maybe you feel them very intensely and you feel like, of course it's a mistake because you feel so terrible and you want your ex back. Well, one thing I will say is that everybody's going to feel that way during a breakup. Everyone feels some kind of pain, because when you're in an intimate relationship and you start to lose somebody, that's the body's natural reaction. That's how we react to somebody that we are close with leaving us. We have a neurological system in our body for this. So what you're feeling is totally normal, totally natural, and what is to be expected during a breakup. However, our body is not so smart when it comes to feelings. Our feeling system and our thinking system and everything, it's all intertwined. There's not even like a clear boundary between thinking and feeling necessarily, but the feeling system tends to have more control, and you may be feeling really crappy and feeling like you want your ex back, but you may not be thinking about all the times when your relationship wasn't so good. This is why people stay with people who harm them, because the feeling overwhelms them of panic and freaking out and feeling like they're not going to be able to get through this when you will be able to get through it. So I certainly don't want you to push your feelings aside. I think you should definitely take them into account and feel what you feel and decide if it's motivating you in the right direction. Sometimes we feel one way, but we have to act in the opposite way, because the opposite way is what's healthy, and the opposite way is going to get us moving forward in life towards a healthier life. And what I'm really kind of getting at here is that you can love your ex, and you can want the best for them, and you can even want to see what's going to happen, but put it off for now and still move on with life. That is a healthy way and a healthy choice to go after a breakup. Something else you're going to want to consider here is, how much are other people influencing your decision here? Are you thinking it's a mistake because your parents are telling you it's a mistake, or your friends, or other people in your family? Are you feeling like it's a mistake because you're thinking about what other people are going to say about you? Let all of that go, because other people don't get to make decisions for your life. And after all of this, if you're still feeling like maybe it was a mistake, the really important thing to ask yourself here is, are you and your ex both ready to 100% fully commit to staying into this relationship and working on it? And that part is really important, working on it. With me and my last ex, we continually tried to make a go at it again and again and again. He wanted to break up and I did not want to, and so he stayed in the relationship, and we saw what was going to happen. And what happened, unfortunately, and this is my perspective obviously, but my perspective is that I worked on things, and I know I worked on things because I did the homework that our therapist told us to do, and I made the changes, and I've seen the changes in myself since, but I don't feel like he really worked on anything and wasn't really fully committed to the relationship anyway, because he continued to cheat on me. One person cannot hold up an entire relationship, and one person working on themselves, while that can help improve a relationship, sure, it's not going to fix the whole thing. Relationships involve dynamics and patterns and living together in many cases, so there's a lot going on, and it's not all on one person to try to make all of that work. So if you think this breakup was a mistake and you want to try again, you better be sure that you and your ex are both ready to commit to it and to work on it. Otherwise, you're just going to be stuck with what left you to the breakup in the first place. Okay, that was a lot to think about. What do you think? Was your breakup a mistake? Let me know down below in the comments.